Welcome to Breakfast Central on a Thursday morning. Yes, that's who you can see there. Yeah, I mean,
live from Lagos,
like they
not in
listened
Abuja.
yesterday and they decided to activate, so they're back. It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. Like I said when I was signing out yesterday, I said the next time you will see me on television, I'll be broadcasting live from our Lagos studios. And here we are live and direct after 3 days of intense reporting, broadcasting, and facilitating of sessions in the Federal Capital Territory. News Central, of course, was partnering with the Nigeria Economic Summit Group to bring the details and the interviews behind the scenes from the Nigeria Economic Summit Nest 31. The theme this year is the reform initiative, building a Nigeria that is prosperous and inclusive by 2030. And all the conversations that we were having were geared towards and centered around what a picture of a Nigeria that is prosperous and inclusive by 2030 should look like. We did a lot of reflection as to where are we as a nation, what do we need to do to get to 2030, to that desired 2030. And what's particularly exciting for me is how this goal aligns with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which is also 2030 focused. So it was a great time. Great conversations were had, and it was also a moment for networking. News Central brought some very exclusive interviews, and over the course of the week is almost over.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, before the week comes to an end.
Today and
tomorrow, we're bringing you some of the excerpts of these very interesting interviews on Breakfast Central as well as in the news bulletin. But it's great to be back. I missed Lagos.
Yeah.
The thing I liked about Abuja, and I always would like, would be their free roads. I don't like their driving though. Their driving is a bit chaotic because it feels like there's too much road.
Too much space, expansion. So they're just. I think they should just have the signs, the lines and everything.
And it's just like I said, wait. I thought Lagos was the mad driving place. Why are you driving like this? I said, nah, I'm not sure I can drive in this Abuja. Everybody's just entering anyhow. But the good thing is nowhere is far.
Free.
People will say, oh, I'm far. I say, how many minutes? 15 minutes. I say, yeah.
That's far.
15 minutes.
They should see what happened in Lekki Road yesterday.
Please, what was that madness?
Horrible. And I think we're going to resume our call, our advocacy for the governor to actually step up his game.
I had to go on X because what had happened
was a nightmare. From VGC all the way to Jakonde was 3 hours.
God bless you.
A nightmare. So I think we're just going to restart calling on the governor. And maybe you could speak to the commissioner.
What exactly is happening? My question
is, the roads are terrible. The roads are bad.
My driver was meant to come and pick me. He then calls me and says that he was walking. I said, walking how? Walking from your house. He said, because all the roads are blocked.
Blocked?
And I said, how? So I went on X and I started checking tweets. And I saw people ranting, saying they had been in traffic from Jakonde to Lekki Phase 1 for almost 3 hours. And people were upset. And Nigerian Lagosians don't deserve this. We don't deserve to live like that.
Some students got to school at during the break. Yes, during the break hours, 11:45, 11:30. They had left home around 7. Some had left home around 8. A parent who I saw on X said she left around 8. I mean, I do have a family member who left home as early as 8. And she only got to Jakonde, I think that was around to 11 or something. She was like, what in the world is going on? So it's chaotic. And it's quite sad that you have Lagos State fixing the Ozumambadi Way stretch only because of the E1 event. And I'm like, why? You shouldn't focus on just one stretch. Rather, you should focus on the entire road. The roads are deplorable. And that's why I keep saying that I think when they say roadworthiness, that particular document should be scrapped. Let me use the word sick for the cars. Because even my car is starting to scream. I'm like, I just changed the shocks. It's gone bad again. So you talk about no way you'll be able to actually put in your best. And that's exactly what people went through. So this is a call to the Lagos State governor. I know you would hear this information. We did this a few months back, and it seems like it worked because your people swung into action. They quickly fixed the potholes, tried to put on the street lights for just 2 days, by the way. After 2 days, the street lights were gone again.
Well, in my own, in defense of them, I was calling them out for that Freedom Way street traffic lights. And thankfully, the traffic light is working now. Now is a good time to jump into fixing the same speed with which we fixed that bridge, the one that, I forgot the name, is it Qatar Bridge?
Yes,
the one that
yes.
Senator what's the Minister of Works name now?
Engineer
Dave Umahi jumped in and ensured that it was sorted out in 24 hours. That same speed should be applied to fix the Lekki-Ajah Expressway.
This morning, they were able to cover one of the big holes at Jakone that's causing everybody to use just one lane. I passed there this morning. Funny enough, whenever I move from VGC lane, as is down to Jakone, it takes me maybe 10, just move. But now, from my place down to the island, at all 1 hour. And I'm like, why? Because not just Olive, it's not just the particular pothole in Jakone.
And you're saying 1 hour is not that you're leaving at 7 a.m.
No,
you're leaving at 5 a.m.
to 5, sometimes 4:55, sometimes 5 on the dot.
Peace of mind won't finish Abuja people.
Come on.
They cannot relate to this.
Come on.
Well, while we are crying about roads here, there's some people who are saying roads are the least of our problems. Senator Garba Musa Madoiki of Kebbi State has called on the Senate to save lives in an emergency plea. He's saying, forget about roads now. Save our lives. Let's take a look at this video.
Tell us they are here. Tomorrow they are here. Everybody knows within our area. But we will not see any action taking place. That is to say, sir, we need this Senate to tell the armed forces to be reporting progress every week so that state by state, otherwise it will be a mess of all issues and we will not be seeing progress. Sir, I beg you that time is right now, that this problem is solvable. We have seen progress. We should not allow this progress to be derailed. We should pursue this remnant of these people so that our next election can be peaceful and sustainable. And we have something to sell to our people, sir. This is the only thing I want to take. If I get protected in my environment, please keep your roads, keep your schools. We just want to be safe. And that is the message we are sending to the Senate President. Please save our life and our people. We are not bothered about roads now or schools. Please save our lives. Our people's lives are in danger.
So this is Senator Garba Musa Madoiki, who's representing Kebbi South Senatorial District, and that was an emotional plea, saying that, of course, criticizing the response to insecurity in the state, and just saying, like he said, they keep your roads, keep your schools, just save our lives. And I don't think, of course, it necessarily meant that, oh, he doesn't want them to do roads, but I think the priority for him there is, before you start talking of people to ply the roads and the people to attend the schools, these people have to be alive first. And the way to preserve their lives is to ensure that you amplify the fight against insecurity.
You know, some days back on this show, we had sat down and we did a priority list. If you remember, we used the board. And we said, if you were to prioritize what is very important that you'd love this government to focus on. And part of it was that infrastructure is good. But you see the issues of hospitals, medical care, and then, of course, security. Security made the top 2 or top 3 lists. What I saw, the video we just saw, is bringing back to my memory the statement that we usually hear, that last, you could touch everybody. And it's touching me already, and I'm sure it's touching you too, because coincidentally, there was a guest who had joined, was it yesterday or so, who joined me, security expert, and he said, listen, all of us, and he said, including me, he said, you know that you are not completely safe. And that's true, whether we like it or not. It's somewhere at the back of our memory that, listen, as I'm going out, I also have to watch over myself and so on. Now, this is a senator in the House of Assembly calling on the president to say, listen, let's have a weekly update on what's happening with our security forces, how they're able to combat this insecurity. And then he's saying that, see, pause, like you rightly also mentioned, pause every other thing, focus. Olive, I cannot help but say it out here. I've been preaching the same thing for the past 1 week. Let us put a state of emergency on security.
You've been saying it for more than 1 week.
Let us see these kids' gloves. Oh, yeah, you know, you get a report. Oh, the military has been able to restrain, and they were able to, whatever it is, I mean, the statements being used, we congratulate the military. But you see, even the military itself, they also need help. How do I mean? They need everybody's support. This support can come, number one, from the presidency, the government. And the National Assembly should also take note. And that's exactly what the senator is saying, that listen, it's about time. Pause every other thing. We know we thought the roads, I mean, after all, everybody was shouting on your mandate. But now they've seen that, Omo, it's not on your mandate again. No. It's now on your life that you have to stay on. So let's stay alive first, because who is alive will be able to sing on your mandate. And the way it's going is, insecurity case, my fear is it's expanding. Look at the southwest, Olive, the southwest. We used to hear Kwara was where you go to. Now Kwara is not safe. So you see, it's starting to spread. We have the north, far north. You have the southeast. You have the middle belt. You have the southwest. Come on, is it until it engulfs all the states that we're going to call for a state of emergency? The best time to handle it for me is now. So I agree with the senator.
And I hope that his constituents are proud of him. His statements can be interpreted in two ways.
Okay.
The positive side would be that the constituents see him as a voice of advocacy, because there's so much that he can do. There's only so much he can do to combat insecurity. Maybe at the very most, he can wield legislative instrument to mandate the fight against insecurity. But the downside would be politics. If they politicize it and see that this looks like a direct attack on those at the helm of power, at the helm of affairs, if they consider this a direct attack, then it might not look good for him. But whatever the case is, he has spoken truth to power. And it should show the level of desperation for you to get to a point where you're saying to the government, forget about progressive development, forget about the things that would improve the quality of life. You have to have life first before you talk about improving the quality of life. So that's the level of desperation that the senator explains and that he speaks to when he's speaking on behalf of his people. And we hope that the government sees this as a cry for help. Because today is Kebbi, tomorrow it can be any other state. No one is immune.
It's spreading.
Nobody is immune to this if we do not nip it in the bud. I don't know, I think we may be past nipping it in the bud at this point. We're trying our best to contain it. The responsibility of a government is to provide safety and security and to protect the welfare of its citizenry. And any government that hasn't done that has in some huge measure failed. Insecurity and the fight against insecurity is largely linked to a number of things. We, as a nation, Joe, we should have progressed even further than we already have.
Oh, yeah.
If insecurity was not a problem. We shouldn't, it's tied to a lot of things. When we deal with the problem of insecurity, we wouldn't need to, the president will make less trips. He wouldn't need to be traveling around to convince people to come and invest in the country, because they would naturally see Nigeria as a viable place for investment. Two major things, I believe, that we need to focus on. We need to focus on security and we need to focus on power. These two indices, these two factors, once we fix them, with regards to our economy, we would see a great level of improvement in the economy. We will see the numbers, the metrics for indicating the growth. We will start to see transportation, feeding, agriculture. It will spiral. It's a ripple effect rather. So I'm hoping that this cry for help, and that more senators lend their voices to this, more lawmakers, because the everyday citizen, yes, the government hears the everyday citizen, but it signals a different level of concern when the people who are representing, because I think that sometimes lawmakers forget that they're not there as regular everyday politicians. They're there to be, they're like advocates. Yeah. They're just senior advocates of the people.
Of the people.
Yeah. The people voted you in there to advocate, to cry for them. Absolutely. If the people are crying, as a lawmaker, you should be crying times two. Your voice should be louder. Your voice should be there to amplify the cries of the people. But let's head to X and see what Nigerians are saying about this story, and then we'll come back to take our next story. Kano Blog says, Senator Madoiki has spoken the bitter truth. When human lives are under constant threat, no amount of development can make sense. What Nigerians need right now is security, not empty promises. A government that cannot protect its citizens has already failed in its primary duty. Save lives first. Roads and schools can wait. That's let's take the next tweet.
Next tweet is from Henry MD Don P. It says, speaking as if there is no governor in a state, as a senator representing a part of Kebbi State, how many times have you had a security meeting with your governors, local government chairmen, and traditional leaders to map out security measures to protect your people? Noisemakers. Well, this one is indifferent. In other words, he doesn't care. It says he should go back to his governor. Omotayo Solomon Ayodiji says, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says he doesn't want roads or schools. All he wants is to be safe. What is he doing in the Senate in the first place? Question. If you ask me, who I go ask. A talk to Blaya says, the funny part of it is that he wants the lives of citizens to be protected for the purposes of the next elections. We're in serious trouble. Well, you cannot say that because he's not speaking. He didn't mention elections there. He was speaking to reality, and that's the reality on ground. People are no longer safe, and that's why he's speaking out. Well, Mike says, when a senator starts begging like a citizen, you know the system is finished. Power with no purpose is just noise. We also have Katad Nice Guy. It says, Nigerian politicians created problem that is beyond them now. I swear it will take years to solve the problem of insecurity in Nigeria, considering the state of the nation. That's what he says. And let's take this one. Push says, is Nigeria no longer safe? I thought Nuhu said Nigeria is the most safest country. And he laughs. Well, this is way beyond a funny meme. It's actually a serious situation that we're finding ourselves in. Nigeria, safety is a major concern. And if you think it's a lie, well, don't forget there's a big conversation, Olive, that's also going on about the killing of Christians, which has started a different debate on its own entirely. You have the United States wading in, Congress wading in, and then you have Nigeria, the National Assembly also looking to wade in as well, with a few senators saying no, looking to debunk all of that. But whether we like it or not, everything borders on insecurity. If insecurity is not solved, whether we like it or not, we would still go back and forth asking questions. Hence, there's a need for us to really focus on insecurity. Well, talking about insecurity now, let's move to our next story. Our next story has got to do with PENGASSAN versus Dangote. I'm sure you've been
maybe we
following
should
it.
do Dangote and NANS
Dangote
versus PENGASSAN.
Well, I was saying PENGASSAN and Dangote before NANS now jumped in. Because this rift between Dangote and PENGASSAN is caused as a result of the fact that PENGASSAN feels, we're just giving you the summary of the entire story. PENGASSAN feels all staff, all workers under Dangote must be under the protective laws that governs them as workers, which of course is pushed by PENGASSAN. By the way, Dangote says, who, in the video where he said, who is Penga? He didn't even know their name. I know that was a bit sarcastic though. But then again, he came out to say, listen, he was going to deal with it. The federal government waded in. They had a conversation with PENGASSAN and Dangote because PENGASSAN was looking to go on a full-blown strike, which they started. And that strike, one way or the other, did not materialize because the federal government stepped in and doused the fire. But that's not all. One way or the other, PENGASSAN now is attributing the high cost of gas to that seemingly small strike that they had. Experts have come out to say that's a big lie. That is just a situation where they're trying to tap in and take the opportunity of ensuring that the gas prices flare. And gas prices have gone up since then. Now, that's not all, Olive. You see, this story has different layers. I'm just trying to sum everything up. Dangote said, okay, fine. If you want me to move these workers to be members of a union like PENGASSAN, I know what to do. Dangote now removed all of them and moved them to sugar and salt factory, still under Dangote. So we have people go and work there. And then he's going to put new people again. So you see, this fight is not going to stop anytime soon. However, NANS, like you mentioned, decided to jump in yesterday. National Association of Nigerian Students. And this jumping in, they say enough is enough. Who are they supporting?
They are supporting Dangote.
They say, PENGASSAN, who you be, from where?
Why is PENGASSAN trying to slow down the economy? According to NANS, they believe that PENGASSAN is working against the interest of the everyday Nigerians. PENGASSAN, on the other hand, also accused Dangote of firing about 800,000 workers, and saying that they're replacing these people with foreign nationals. And Dangote is saying, that this is not true, that they're just sort of making malicious statements to put Dangote in bad light. So it's been back and forth. They've had meetings with government, the federal government wading in. Sometimes the meeting has ended in deadlock and they've picked up again. But NANS has said, we no go agree, or we no go agree. At Ojodu Bega, you can see the clips of them. Let's take a look at this video and we'll come back to share our thoughts.
The leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students, a body known for always fighting for equality, freedom and social justice, has once again trooped out in mass to declare to the world that Nigerian students are saying a total no to the importation of fuel in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are saying no to the sabotaging of Dangote as a personality, as well as other refineries in Nigeria. We are here to say enough is enough. We are here to say no to some unscrupulous elements pitching tents with the opposition to create problem for the incumbent leadership of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man that is performing across border, a man that is doing the impossible for the ungrateful Nigerians, a man that has dedicated his life towards the upliftment of Nigerians. Today we are here to say no to sabotaging positive government moves towards ending the suffering and poverty of Nigerians. Today, we are here to say that a little thing is a little thing, but faithfulness in a little thing is a great thing. Dangote has gone a long way in reducing the price of PMS in Nigeria. Why are some people trying to sabotage that effort? Why are some people trying to bring Nigeria to dismay? Why are some people trying to set us apart? Why are some people trying to divide Nigeria for political gains? We are here to say no, and enough is enough. Nigerian students are saying yes and supporting Dangote.
Joe, why do you have that facial expression? Why are you not making me laugh?
You know, there was a guy by the right. If we play back that video, there was a guy by the right while he was talking on your screen. That guy wearing face cap, the blue
face cap guy.
He's sleepy. Look at his eyes. Look, watch him. See, look, the guy. Look at some point. He's gonna just go. He's tired. Because he's tired. Look at that guy.
Is he really sleepy, or he's just
tired.
wondering like, guy, who's saying,
he's just gonna.
Is this why we are here?
The guy is wondering what's going on here.
Question here. We can see them in lovely Dangote branded caps, Dangote branded T-shirts. I wonder what time they had to really, go and brand these T-shirts and brand these face caps to come and support Dangote. How did they, or was it given to them by the Dangote group? 1. 2, waiting concern NANS inside this matter. And I'm not saying that as Nigerians, they don't have a right to have an opinion.
Of course.
But there's currently an issue. ASU and, ASU is planning to go on a warning strike from October 13th. Their issue is the renegotiation of the agreement to the federal government in 2009, the renegotiation and implementation of same. Why are you not? This is literally a case of drinking Panadol for another person's headache. That's what it is.
Protesting for that.
The students have a lot of problems on their hands. Have you been able to stand your ground and shut down whatever you need to shut down to get the government to listen to you on that? No, it's Dangote's business that you decided to carry on your head. It's giving politicized. It's
giving adjustment schemes, It's giving some form of let's sponsor some people. And I wish that... We don't know where the sponsorship is coming from.
I don't know.
But it doesn't
I wish that bodies like the Nigerian Association of, National Association of Nigerian Students know how much power they wield. When I was in school, I was in politics. The influence of the student union government is powerful.
Yeah.
You stand in a position of authority to influence change among the students with the management, the administration of the school. And now, the national body, which is NANS, you can really hold the government to account. You can hold them, you can stand still. Your right, and your duty and your responsibility is to protect the interests of Nigerian students.
Absolutely.
Simple. That is your primary responsibility, to protect the interest of Nigerian students.
Well, they'll tell you that they're protecting the interests of Nigerian students because when fuel prices go up, the students will find it hard commuting, going to school, coming back.
The very immediate danger that the students are facing right now is the potential of going on another strike.
That's it.
October 13th is around the corner.
That's it.
That's the deadline that they had given to the federal government.
So misplaced priorities, hence why we say we do not understand the mix between having National Association of Nigerian Students jumping into a fight which is already being settled by the federal government and still involves Dangote and PENGASSAN. But then again, it is Nigeria, it is what it is. We do understand that everyone has a freedom of expression. But then again, it makes us wonder if the National Association of Nigerian Students should have focused on the impending strike.
The last thing I'm seeing here is from a month ago, 26th of August, where I'm seeing that the National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened to shut down critical infrastructure nationwide if the federal government fails to meet the demands of ASU, which has again warned of a possible nationwide strike. They said, let it be on record. If this strike is not averted, we will bring the country to a standstill until the future of Nigerian students is secured.
Why are you trying to say? You're almost trying to sound like that guy. Almost. I know the ginger, the energy.
He's giving cho.
And in his statement, he said President Tinubu has done a lot for the ungrateful Nigerians. And I'm like, wait, ungrateful? Who wrote that speech? Sometimes when you want English, too much grammar.
That's why I say it's cho.
Ungrateful Nigeria, cho. Oh my goodness, this morning I want to take it easy, please. So Nance, well done. We appreciate what you're doing. I mean, you're standing firm. You have your principles. You do have your freedom of speech. But then again, we also say while you're doing that, it's fine. Don't forget to remember that there are students who may be at home for a long period of time when ASU, NASU, SANU all go on strike. So you might want to also, maybe this time remove that shirt, wear a different shirt, and go back to the streets to ensure that all is done appropriately. But then again, the Minister of Education has begged. There was a press conference yesterday. He begged and asked that ASU should please relax. This is the first time in a long while the President Tinubu administration, the Renewed Hope agenda, is focused on ensuring that there will no longer be strikes. And how are they doing that? They're involving the Ministry of Justice and everything because they want to have a proper documentation and signatory done to avert any form of strike in the future. And they're going to ensure that they listen to their demands this time because that's what they've been doing. They just want to ensure that it's done properly. And this is the first time they're also involving the National Security Advisor and so on. That it's never been done before. It shows the great length that the president wants to go to. Will ASU listen? That one is left for ASU to decide. Period. Okay.
Do we have time for the final story?
Well, not really, but I think we can just touch on it very briefly. It's just an announcement that we need to make.
I think the quick summary will be that the Senate is backing a 10-year passport ban on Nigerians convicted abroad. So what that will mean is that if you are a Nigerian abroad that has been convicted for a crime and deported back home, once you get home, they would you have a passport, a 10-year passport ban, and the aim of doing this they're saying is to preserve the integrity of Nigeria, to discourage Nigerians from committing crimes abroad, and just basically to redeem and restore the image of Nigeria on the international scene. But before we share what our thoughts are, let's quickly head to X and see what Nigerians are saying about this on X. So now, committing a crime abroad could cost you your freedom and your passport for a decade. Interesting move, but will this really reform behavior or just punish Nigerians twice? International image matters, yes, but is this the right tool to achieve it? They should rather address the root of the problems rather than this approach. That's the one. The second one, don't we have currently 7 Nigerian leaders who have been convicted abroad? The ban should begin with those individuals known to the public or not. The next tweet says, brilliant move. It's hard to give directions to a grown human, but if they have something to lose, they'll think twice before committing that crime. Brilliant. Another tweet says, 10-year passport ban, shock emoji. So if someone has served time abroad, comes home and tries to rebuild, they'll still be locked out from global opportunities. Yes, I understand actions have consequences, but shouldn't rehabilitation be part of the equation too? That's that tweet.
Yeah, I mean, let's take this one. Kelvin says, this is a good move, but it should largely depend on the kind of crime committed. The Nigerian police should also conduct a proper investigation to determine whether the person is actually guilty or not. Why did I say this? Because laws differ from country to country. For instance, violence against women can send you to jail in many countries, but it only attracts a fine here in Nigeria. Some rape cases abroad are just charades, full of lies against successful men simply to extort money from them or punish them for daring to leave the relationships. So why should a person suffer innocently abroad, get deported, and then continue to suffer for another 10 years here? This is a very salient point, I agree, because it needs to be looked into. But I'm sure the Senate know what they're doing. They would put all of these ideas and all of these suggestions into book and look at it carefully. For instance, somebody who has been wrongfully convicted abroad. That's what this Kelvin is saying. And what if after they found out that he was wrongfully convicted, maybe he spent 2 years in prison or jail and then he was finally let go, and then he returns back to Nigeria? Of course, he will still have that convicted.
So it's like double jeopardy. You're being punished
You're still going
twice.
to convict him, or you would say, okay, you know, what did he commit over there? Oh, it was a lie, so on. Anyway, there's a lot. But we trust that the Senate know what they're doing. And if you ask me, I'd say it's a good move. However, Olive, I hope it would apply to the politicians too. Nobody should be exempted.
Anointing flows.
And you know, as we speak now, currently, there's a politician, 1 or 2 or 3, including those who are, there's a Royal Highness or someone who is facing issues abroad now, currently.
But the laws they won't be, what's that word, I've forgotten, but like it won't go back in time. Once if there's a law that is passed to that effect, it would only start from the moment that it's passed.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It won't go back in time.
But you know whether you like it or not, we're humans. And whether you are of the upper echelon, some of them will still break the law.
Yeah.
Let's hope that they are not going to be separated.
Maybe we should leave this
special.
for our viewers to decide. Yeah. What side of the divide. Do you think that this is going to be a good move? Just to quickly talk, you can go on YouTube. We're streaming live on News Central, and you can drop your comments there. Do you think that it's a good move to preserve Nigeria's image in the global space and to protect our integrity, that the Senate passes a law, for example, to ban convicted record criminals? It feels weird to say that, but people who have been convicted of crimes upon their return to Nigeria to seize their passport for 10 years. You think that's a good move? Thank you, Mokunye Chukwuemeka. It's great to see you. We're seeing the shout out online. Thank you very much for that. Mokunye Chukwuemeka says, hearing the word is the roadworthy of our car for the obtained time in 24 hours. We pay taxes, and then he says, in quote, wonderful speech by NANS guy. Nigerians are ungrateful. That is the sarcasm of the highest level. You did not tell us that you're very fluent in sarcasm, Mokunye Chukwuemeka. Anyway, but you can let us know what your thoughts are on any of these stories that we started the conversations with this morning on the Wake Up Conversations. We're streaming live on YouTube, News Central TV. Let's now share with you the headlines and the stories that we're bringing to you today on Breakfast Central. This morning on Breakfast Central, we'll be starting off by talking about achieving a progressive, inclusive fiscal economy. We spoke with the executive chairman of the Fiscal Policy Commission. Embattled Minister Uche Nnaji resigns amid certificate forgery allegations. We started this and we'll continue the conversations today. Beyond appointments, evaluating ministers in office, the ministerial scorecard. 3 days of ideas, one agenda for action. We bring you a holistic report of the Nigeria Economic Summit 2025. And we'll review the newspaper front pages with our guests and with you when we open the phone lines. Stay tuned.